Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So, in today's class, I'm going to teach you why Chinese mothers are superior. Why Chinese mothers are superior. This is an essay written by Amy Chua. She was born in 1962 in Illinois, USA. Okay, this is an example of comparison and contrast essay. So I'm going to teach you what major issue that she is going to raise in this essay. Okay, first of all, let's read the background first of all. This is an example of comparison and contrast essay. Here she presents two parenting models. Especially in this essay, the writer is discussing about two parenting models, that is Chinese parenting model and American parenting model. She claims that she has used these models loosely or inflexible way in order to distinguish Western parenting model and non-Western parenting model. First, she presents her thesis uh, through the title itself, claiming that Chinese mothers are superior than others. To prove her thesis, she presents essential features of both parenting models and then draws her conclusion, restating her thesis. Okay, so here her thesis statement, her claim is that Chinese mothers are superior. So to prove that statement, Chinese mothers are superior than Western mothers, than Western parents. What uh, uh, different arguments she brings here to prove her statement. Okay, so we will try to discuss these things in this essay. So first of all, history of parenting model. So first of all, she studies the history of Western model, Western parenting model, and for that she goes in ancient Greeks, back in ancient Greece. What they used to do in looking after the children, what they did, how they treated the children. Look here. So if you consult the book, if you read the book, you will find that ancient Greeks left unwanted children in the woods to die of exposure. So this was very sad scene. Okay, so ancient Greeks, we cannot even imagine this such type of activities would happen in ancient Greek. Okay, unwanted children, they used to leave those children in the jungle, in the woods, and children would die. So, and another thing that she studies in history, that 17th century American Puritans, what they did, better whips than them. Okay, better whipping type of practice they use there. Okay, so next, if you see that Enlightenment figures, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, what he said, he looked more flexible. Some changes were emerging there, according to Rousseau's ideas. So what Rousseau says about children? Children will are not spoiled by our fault. Okay, we have to focus on children's will, children's desire, children's freedom. Children want nothing uselessly. That's why we have to respect children. Again, if you go in 19th and early 20th century American parenting philosophy, and we can see that they practice, they want to see discipline, emotional detachment, and wisdom in the children. So they treated their children accordingly. And again, she reads another that book written by Dr. Luther Ementhold. Its title is The Care and Feeding of the Children. And what she finds here, instinct and material love. So in this book, material type of love is mentioned here. So spiritual love. Children could not get spiritual love. So that type of idea is given here. And again, if you read that Patrician Benjamin spoke in his book Baby and Child Care, and what the book says. So more permissive child rearing system was there in the Western society. Permissive type of children, so it was spoiling the child. So it was not in favor of children. Again, if you in the decades that followed, this parenting approach accompanied, okay, an increasing emphasis on children's self-esteem both at home and in school. Okay, later on, Americans, especially the the European or Western, or they they practice they practice self-esteem, self-esteem among children. Okay, so they thought that self-esteem is essential in children. We should not kill self-esteem of the children either at home or in school. Okay, so now what she does, Chinese parenting model or non-Western parenting model. What happens in Chinese parenting model and non-Western parenting model? So here she gives her own example. She has two daughters. One daughter is Sophia and another daughter is Louisa. Louisa. Two daughters are there, and she is exposing her daughters in the practice of that Chinese model, and she thinks so many stereotypes, so many practices that her daughter are practicing, but they are not in favor. Or she thinks in the beginning, but later on she has realized that Chinese parenting model is better. And you can read uh, in this slide, you can read different types of these Chinese cultural stereotypes that her daughters were not allowed to practice, are given here from A to Z. Okay, you can see these in your books as well. And other parenting models, and she says that Chinese model is not only related to China, but it is also Korean model, Indian model, Jamaican model, Irish model, Ghanaian model, and Western model does not mean just American model. It also refers to European model. Okay, that's why she says that I'm using I'm loosely using these terms. So that means she is flexible, and she is giving the scenario of Western world and non-Western world or Eastern world. Okay, so what she finds in our analysis is that she finds excellence, academic excellence. According to Chinese model, Chinese parents, especially non-Western parents, they want to see academic excellence, musical mastery, and professional success in their children. Okay, so that type of practice we can see in Chinese society, in non-Western society. And for that, what they do, what non-Western society does. Okay, look here: academic success based, excellent performance, highest grade drilling, academic activities. So different types of practice are given for the children, and they have to do their best. Best performance is needed in Eastern model or Chinese model. Virtuous circle. In this model, children must be virtuous, full of virtue. Okay. In very interesting thing you can see here, if you, in Chinese model, according to Chinese model, if you call a child like garbage or hey ati, if you use these insulting words, okay, in Chinese society, in non-Western model, then it will be nothing for the children. Okay, they will forget these words. But if you use this type of words in Western model, then the Western parents, they assume that it will be a kind of insult upon self-esteem of the children. That's why we should not use this type of words in scolding children. Okay, so this type of things we can see here. So self-esteem is very important in Western model, but obeying that, giving a kind of order, obeying parents' order, that type of practice is done in Chinese model or in non-Western model. Okay, now you can see now what happened in Western parenting model. Now let's see what happens in Western parenting models. Okay, she says that she has used Western parents also to refer to all parents of the Western world, not only American, but also the parents of other Western society, Western countries. Okay, so she says that in Western model that children should develop their self-esteem both at home and school. This is very essential. This is very important. Okay, so in Western society, in Western parenting model, they do not search excellence in their children. Rather, they have to praise the children. They have to admire the children. Okay, they do not give more time for practicing music, for example. Okay, for example, every day in Western society, every day students, children, they have to practice music at least for 30 minutes. But if you go in China, it is more, 2 or 3 hours practice is expected. Okay, so anyway, excellence is not expected from children in American model or Western model. And fun, if you want to see fun in children, Chinese parents, they want to see fun in their children, in their children. And if their children have done best, and that will be the fun in Chinese society, in a non-Western society. But fun is essential in Western society, even if the children are not doing well, not doing well. And next thing, another thing that we can see here is that Western children practice less and are less virtuous. Western children practice less and they are less virtuous in comparison to Chinese model. Repetition is underrated in America. In America, repetition is not underrated because drilling type of practice is not allowed there. Okay, it is prohibited there. We can say kind of prohibition because it will be the disturbance in the in students' performance. Okay, they think that repetition is not necessary. Drilling type of practice is not necessary. They have to praise, they have to admire, they have to satisfy their children. Okay, if they use that insulting words like garbage and hey fatty to call their children, okay, it will be a kind of insult in American society, in Western model, because it will kill their self-esteem. They assume that it will kill their self-esteem. That's why they should not use this type of insulting words. Rather than they have to persuade them. Persuasion is very essential in that American model, American society. Look at in number 13, if you go there, Western parents try to respect their children's individuality, encouraging them to pursue their true passions, supporting their choices, providing positive reinforcement and nurturing environment. In the last paragraph, you can see that the Western parents also care and sacrifice for their children, not only in Chinese model. So, three major differences that we can see in both parenting models are there, that you can see. I have made them bold with red color. Self-esteem is there. Self-esteem must be protected in Western model, in American model, but in China, it is not necessary. And in number 2, you can see in Chinese model, according to Chinese model, students or children, they have to obey their parents, they have to obey their teachers, like that. So obeying type of scenario we can see, but we cannot see that in American society. And next one is that Chinese parents, they want best. They want best according to their desire in the children. What is parents' desire is focus. Parents' choice is focus. But in American society, in American model, parents' choice is secondary and children's choice is primary. Look here now. Let's go in conclusion. In conclusion, what the writers wants to say here. I'm just reading this. So the writer opines that the Chinese parenting model looks better as its effort is for excellence rather than Western model for parenting, although the Western model stresses on children's individuality and self-esteem. She has a utopian perspective in parenting the kids. Okay, utopian thought, utopian practice. For example, that Chinese people, Chinese parents are using in looking after the children. It is probably because of her inclination to Chinese politics. Maybe she is interested in Chinese politics, but we are not sure in what politics she believes. But from this essay, from the argument that she has presented in this essay, we can see, we can assume that, we can guess that, at least we can guess that she believes in Chinese politics, because they believe in socialism. Chinese people, they believe in socialism or in communism. The ultimate goal of communism is the creation of utopia. Okay, the imagination of perfect society. This is utopian thought. If we go in China, we can see that utopian thought is practiced there. Perfect imagination, imagination of perfection. She looks quite critical to the to Western parenting model. She looks critical. She looks quite critical, or although she has brought various arguments that are convincing argument. Okay, different arguments she has presented here, but still she looks critical to the Western model, because according to Western model, that uh, excellence or perfection is not expected from the children, but only self-esteem is given a high priority in Western model. But in China, excellence, perfections, best result, best grades, they are expected in China. So she likes that. The imagination of creation and individual having the qualities of self-esteem. It means self-esteem is essential in American society, American culture, but in China, utopian thought that is expected. Utopian imagination that is expected. Okay, this much for today's this much in today's class. We will discuss more in next class. Okay, see you in next time.